It is a trick, Li Yi screamed, pointing a trembling finger at me. You hid the real dog. You swapped them when no one was looking. Bring the other one out this instant. Throw this carcass away. Bai Feng watched the scene in silent horror. Li Yi had tried to frame me with a poisoned gift, but the plan had backfired so spectacularly it would ruin our family's reputation forever. The emperor didn't wait for another excuse. He raised his hand, signaling the end of the debate. The evidence is clear. This charade ends now. Seize Li Yi and Fang Zhen. Throw them into the deepest pits of the Black Prison, he roared. Internally, he cursed his luck. His favorite puppet had just committed a capital crime. If he spared the boy, he would lose his leverage over the general, but if he executed him, he would lose his best chance at controlling the Li family's vast influence. As the guards dragged him away, Li Yi's frantic screams echoed through the stone halls. He cheated! He hid the healthy dog! You have to kill his whole family! This is a setup! The gathered officials watched with cold indifference. Scheming against a high commander was a one-way trip to the executioner's block, and Li Yi was just a fool who got caught. Even without an immediate death sentence, everyone knew the emperor had other plans for him. The political landscape of the kingdom had just shifted under our feet. General Xiao stood up abruptly, clutching his side as a grimace crossed his face. Your Majesty, my old war wounds are acting up again. I must beg your leave to depart. Take care of yourself, Commander, the emperor replied with genuine concern. I will have 100 prime resource pills delivered to your manor by nightfall. The general gave a stiff nod and prepared to leave. Hold on a moment, I called out, stopping him in his tracks. I might be able to help with that internal damage. The emperor's eyes lit up with hope. It is true. He mastered the acupuncture techniques that cured the princess when every other doctor in the city had failed. Reluctantly, the general sat back down as the court fell into a hushed silence. Everyone watched as I reached out to take the pulse of the nation's greatest warrior. I focused my divine sense, feeling the jagged energy tearing through his veins. Well, little brat, the general grunted, his voice full of skepticism. What do you see? A brat, am I? I whispered with a smirk. He laughed harshly. Even your grandfather is a mere child compared to me. What else would you be? I ignored the jab and went straight for the truth. 3 times a day, your arm bones and wrists feel like they are being chewed on by fire ants. Is that right? The color drained from his face as he stared at me. I didn't stop. At high noon, your primary pressure points freeze over, leaving you paralyzed with a bone-deep chill. He tried to speak, but the words wouldn't come. A year ago, you started losing your cultivation energy during the early morning hours, didn't you? It was subtle at first. Now, that weakness lasts until the sun is high in the sky, and every time you try to circulate your power, it feels like lightning striking your heart. Am I wrong? The general sat frozen in his chair, his arrogance completely replaced by a look of sheer terror. I pulled my hand away, knowing I finally had his full attention. Tell me, do you lose your energy flow every morning between 3 and 5? And does it now last until 9? Exactly. And do your meridians feel like an electric current is surging through them when you circulate your power? Yes, precisely. I thought so, Yun Xiao muttered. The king was stunned. Kid, you're terrifyingly sharp. How did you know? You nailed it. There's a cure, right? I stayed silent, focused on my chicken leg. Talk, kid. Why are you eating? He barked. I swallowed. You think a kid has some miracle? I was just guessing. Forget I ever opened my mouth. The room went silent. I finished my snack and took a slow drink. He stared. No one dared treat him like this. I call your grandfather an old ghost, he growled. Your father is a brat to me. So what are you? A tiny brat? I set my glass down. Call me young master, I said. My friends turned pale. I was playing with fire. The crowd panicked. Demanding a commander call me master, I'd lost my mind. I was a dead man. Do you know who you're talking to? He hissed. Nobody acts superior to me. I took another bite. Suit yourself. I'm not forcing you, but if you're done talking, there's enough meat here to keep your mouth shut. The emperor gasped. The audacity. Qing stood up, radiating pure, demonic rage. I stayed cool, sipping water. His fists clenched. His ego was bleeding out. Quite the ego, Commander, I said. People whispered that I had a death wish. My kin rushed in. Commander, please, he's young. Forgive him for his family's sake. Suddenly, Qing roared with laughter and slammed my back, nearly making me choke. The old ghost's grandson has balls. I love it. He grabbed a chicken leg, grinning. Why is my son so boring? Fine, young master it is. I'll call you that. Everyone was stunned. Since when was the Iron Commander this chill? He leaned in. So, young master, about my illness, can you really save me? I stayed silent. Don't push it. I'm being nice. I glared back. My bones still ached from his hit. Nice? You tried to break me, he chuckled. Fine. What'll it take to remember? I raised my glass. A drink first. Let's get wasted. We'll talk business later. Deal. Today we drink until we drop. He laughed and hammered my back again. Was I a genius or a clown? Either way, the room finally respected me. The family has a future, someone noted. I see why I lost now, another sighed. The party ended. Everyone left. Shui ran up to me, blushing hard. Thanks. It was nothing, I said. She huffed, face turning crimson, and ran away. Commander, wait, I called. Once I have the cure, I'll find you. I'll be waiting. Don't forget. He left, clearly intrigued by my games. My friends swarmed me. Man, you actually tamed the beast. We're so proud. But how'd you know that pill was lethal? My student asked. You just knew? I shrugged. If it were the real deal, it wouldn't be toxic. Basic logic. They were floored. What? I started walking. Not here. Let's move and talk. I explained the poison secret to them. You're insane, my friend whispered. Pulling that off in public? One slip and we'd all be executed. My student realized I'd used him again. They finally saw they were my inner circle. A guard stopped us. Master Li, my lord wants a private word with you. I waved him off. Sun's down. I'm beat. Some other time, a voice echoed. The night's young. When kindred spirits meet, drinks are required. A curtain opened. Am I worthy of being your friend? The prince asked. I just sighed. Even for a friend, I'm not interested in being alone with men. Sorry. The prince laughed, revealing the carriage's interior. That's easily fixed, isn't it? I have my girls here, every one a beauty. They'll dance while we drink. My handmaidens are beauties. They'll pour the wine and dance while we drink. Wouldn't that be a kingly way to spend the evening? Fine, I said, eyes flashing. If it is that important, it is worth the ride. I stepped inside. Beauties served wine as the prince spoke. The rumors lie, he said. You have more guts than they say. You flatter me, I replied. But look at your brow. That royal aura. You were born to lead. Yue froze. He did not expect me to be so blunt. Commander Bai said I would meet a savior. He told me my path would finally clear tonight. Honestly, at first, I did not believe a word. Are you that man, Yunxiao? I looked at him. The third squad's leader, Bai Mu, is a ghost. A prophet who reads the stars. Is it real or just a show? I wondered about his ancient arts. I knew the stars too. In my past life, I met masters who could truly see through time. Yue clapped, and a figure emerged from the smoke. It is very real, the prince said, smiling. A pleasure, young master, the commander said. A woman? A female commander? You are well guarded. But count me out, I added. I have no interest in your bloody coups or crown secrets. Yue was stunned. The maids shook with fear. Such treasonous talk usually meant a short life. You are bolder than they say, she whispered, and sharper. The prince will soon rule this land. Helping him secures your family's future. Unless you have not heard about the Li family's crisis, I did not care for their drama, but this body is theirs. Their blood flows in my veins. They raised me. Besides, once I regain my peak power, a tiny kingdom like this is nothing. I could build empires if I wanted, but if I die now, I protect no one. I need a shield. I need a safe harbor while I climb back to the top. Protecting them is the least I can do. Fine, I said. I want your word. As long as you breathe, the Li family stays safe and rich. I swear it, Yue replied. As long as I live, and as long as they do not betray me, the Li family will thrive. They earned it. It is a shame my father is so cold. Fickle? I cut in. Betraying allies is what kings do. Now, tell me what you need from me. Commander Xiao's wound, Bai Mu said. How sure are you that you can actually heal him? Yue knew there was no cure. Every enemy's plan relied on that man staying broken and weak. If I fixed him, the entire political board would flip. I drained my glass, feeling the heat. 100%, I said. They stared at each other, shocked by my absolute confidence. Are you certain? Yue pressed. I leaned back. Did you want me to fail him instead? No, he waved. Heal him. If Xiao returns, my brother cannot start a civil war so easily. Time is on our side. But the king. I paused. He is 16 next year, right? 30 years younger than Prince Yang. The king wants you, but his time is running out. Yue's eyes widened. What do you mean? Did you see something? Bai Mu leaned in close. They say your skills are peerless. What is wrong with His Majesty? I set the glass down. He is 70. Old, yes. But his eyes are fading. It looks like a slow, hidden poison. Poison? She gasped. Yue's face twisted in rage. It is my brother. He is too impatient. If the king dies now, it is chaos, I said. Get a decree. Become the successor tonight. How can you be sure he will pick me? He asked. Yang was always the golden favorite. He won the wars. He had the glory. But look closer. The king is icing him out. He is stripping Yang's power and giving it to you. Even Bai Mu was sent to guard you. The royal guard does not pick sides alone. Even an idiot can see you are the chosen. Yue asked, "How are you so sure the king will choose me?" Yunxiao replied, "Everyone knows Prince Yang was his choice. He followed the king through every war, earning legendary military honors. He was the acknowledged successor for years. But the king's attitude changed recently. He's been freezing Yang out and stripping him of his influence. He's handing everything to you, even the third white eye captain. No one else has a private guard like that. Only the king could authorize such protection. Even a fool can see he's picking you. Despite Yang's massive influence, the king's preference is obvious now. But Yang still has too much power, which is why the king is acting cautiously. Palace officials and the military are terrified, concealing the king's collapse from our family. We once supported Tao Duong before that traitorous servant sparked this coup." Niet sighed. "Even a genius like you missed the mark, Van Tu. Everyone is blinded. I am merely a sacrificial pawn for my father. He forced me into this. Now, it is either the throne or death. Must we save the prince? He only cares about saving himself," Nuyet replied. "The king is using me as a human shield against the rival prince. So you are just bait to keep the rival occupied while he stays king?" "Exactly. You are brilliant for seeing through his game so quickly, Tue. Had you joined me sooner, we would already hold every advantage. My instincts were right. You truly are the golden ticket I needed. But we have a problem. The king is poisoned and could die tonight. Without his protection, you are a sitting duck for the first prince. Unless we cure Commander Tue Kin Vuong, that is our only miracle." "I see. A life debt from the commander secures the entire military. If we bring him to our side, the game is practically won. This succession war is decided by only 6 powerful men. Secure their support, and any opposition becomes irrelevant noise. Chancellor Lam is a vulture, waiting to see who bleeds out first. Your grandfather is missing. The Lai family's future is a total gamble. Commander Tue is a wild card, serving only the crown until now. Master Alchemist Truong favors the rival, which puts us at a disadvantage. President Hua avoids politics entirely, chasing spells while the city burns. But the dean is on my side. I was his favorite student. Help me reclaim your family's power, and we will control everything. That gives us 3 out of 6. The math is in our favor. Even if the others back Duong, we have already seized the advantage. Do not forget the king. While he breathes, your supporters mean nothing." Nuyet paled. "Are you saying my father's life is my biggest obstacle? He is a tool. Use him right and win, or he will bury you. If he dies, we frame the rival for the murder and end this." Nuyet grabbed my hands. "Help me, and I will protect your family. I will even give you my sister's hand once I am crowned." I spat out my wine. "Wait, are you serious right now? She is a handful, but she is yours," Gyet joked darkly. "Keep her as a mistress. We are men. We understand these arrangements." I stared at him. This man would sell his own blood for power. He is exactly like his father. A cold-blooded dynasty of snakes. His guard, Bak Mao, blushed. Their bond was clearly more than professional. "Business first," I said. Suddenly, a guard screamed, "Assassins!" Arrows hissed through the air. Outside was chaos. Inside was dead silence. I sipped my wine. "Steady hands for a man under fire, Your Highness. Bak Mao protects me, but you're calm. That is truly terrifying." I laughed. "Unless she is protecting me too, I am a dead man." Nuyet roared with laughter. "Relax, Thew. No one touches my most valuable player. I've survived enough to know that with Commander Bai guarding us, nobody short of the king's 2 grandmasters could touch me." Yun Xiao let out a dry laugh. "If only it were that simple, but this time, the shadows feel much heavier than usual." Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the night air. Bai Mu froze, her eyes widening. "We're compromised and elite is here." Yun Xiao marveled at her sharp instincts. "Even against a titan," he told the prince, "with her shielding you, there's hope." The prince wondered how Yun Xiao sensed the threat first. "Tonight," he hissed, "no assassin leaves this place breathing. Watch out!" Bai Mu screamed as a barrage of devastating palm strikes whistled through the dark, aiming straight for our carriage. The defensive seals flared to life but shattered instantly. The entire carriage erupted into a million wooden splinters and smoke. Bai Mo lunged through the debris, frantic for the prince. He groaned, unharmed but covered in a very distinct boot print. "You actually shoved the prince into the dirt just to catch those 2 maids?" Yun Xiao just stood there, holding both girls. "My bad. It was just pure instinct," he shrugged. "Besides, His Highness looks perfectly fine. No harm, no foul, right?" Bai Mu fumed, but the prince just chuckled. "Even at death's door, Yun Xiao puts beauties first. Now, how do we escape?" 2 hooded figures emerged from the shadows. Bai Mu stepped forward, her gaze locking onto the leaders of the ambush. "I see through your little transformation trick," she spat. "Altering your muscles to hide your identity won't save you tonight." You're fast and fluid, but you can't beat me. You're just the distraction meant to keep me busy, aren't you? The real plan is for your partner to execute the prince while I'm occupied. Isn't that right, Captain Cao Feng? She called them out. The elite first squad captain, Cao Feng, and his treacherous lieutenant, K. Meng. Her heart sank. One was a peak master, the other a seasoned veteran. This wasn't a fight, it was a massacre. Cao Feng, you're a high-ranking officer of the crown. Have you lost your mind joining the first prince's coup? Do you have any idea how the king or Commander Xiao will react when they find out about this betrayal? Cao Feng laughed coldly. Don't act so holy, Commander. We both know you've dipped your toes in these royal feuds before. I'm here on the king's direct orders to protect Prince Tao Yue, she roared. Does the king know about your treason? Words are cheap, he countered. Once I scrub this scene clean, dead men won't be telling any tales to the king. Everyone dies tonight. He gestured to his partner. Kill the prince, that arrogant Yun Xiao brat. And the girls. Make it quick. Kaimeng nodded, drawing his blade as the two assassins surged forward like twin bolts of lethal lightning. Bai Mo expected Kaimeng to go for the prince, but Cao Feng intercepted her with a bone-shattering strike. Eyes on me, Commander, he barked. Bai Mo barely twisted away as Kaimeng's fist whistled toward the prince's chest. A shimmering barrier flared, absorbing the impact and blasting Kaimeng backward. The prince had activated his secret ace. Yun Xiao raised an eyebrow. The Cloud Mist banner? That's some high-tier redirection tech for a prince to be carrying. Kaimeng spat out blood, staring at the glowing aura. Meanwhile, Bai Mu pressed her advantage, launching a fierce counterattack. Give it up, Cao Feng. This banner is impenetrable to anyone below a Grandmaster. You're just wasting your breath here. Cao Feng didn't flinch. That rag is just a prototype from Master Yang Di. It's barely got 30 minutes of juice left. Kill the Yun Xiao kid first. Once that shield dies in half an hour, the prince is a dead man walking. Run, Yun Xiao, Bai Mo screamed. But Kaimeng was already a blur, reappearing right behind the young man's neck. You're just a low-level fly, Kaimeng sneered, his blade gleaming. Did you really think you could outrun a professional? Petals of crimson energy swirled around his sword, the deadly peach blossom style. Bai Mu felt her heart stop. Not bad, Yun Xiao remarked, casually watching the petals. The flow is decent, like willow branches dancing in a storm. Your technique captures the romance of the flower, he continued, while the two maids watched in a terrified trance. But you've completely missed the soul of the water, he sighed. Kaimeng growled. Your life ends here, you arrogant brat. Yun Xiao drew his sword in a blur. Watch closely, amateur. I'll show you what the peach blossom style actually looks like. He raised his blade, and suddenly, the air exploded with the scent of spring. Flowers bloomed in the dead of night. With one elegant sweep, a sea of petals engulfed the clearing. The assassins froze, their jaws dropping in utter disbelief. Kaimeng's sword slipped from his hand. This is the true essence? He felt a sudden, overwhelming urge to weep. I've spent 30 years obsessing over this style, he whispered, and his life's work felt like a cheap imitation. I want to kneel, he choked out. Yun Xiao sheathed his blade, his expression cold. Join me, and I might actually teach you. Kaimeng trembled, his spirit broken. The true peach blossom, he repeated, as Cao Feng watched his partner crumble. Ji Meng, remember your place. You're the deputy of the elite guard, bound by duty. I sheathed my steel. You might lead the guard, Ji, but listen to me. You're just a man. Without a soul for the craft, rank is a hollow shell. Life is a blink. Only the art is eternal. My words hit him like a brick. He looked desperate. If I walk away, will you really teach me the secrets? It's a masterpiece, I said, but the road is long. Come find the end. He wavered. A sudden wind seemed to carry his old life away forever. He lowered his steel. Sorry, boss. Cao Feng's face turned a murderous red. Bai Mo didn't miss the opening. He lunged while the boss was still reeling. Cao Feng let out a roar, his aura flaring to blast him back into the dirt. He sprouted wings and took flight. Later, bye, he shouted as he soared away. The prince laughed. Fate loves me, Yun. You're the best partner I've ever had. Ji Meng cut him down. I'm with Yun, prince. My loyalty isn't for sale. The prince's face fell. Fine, whatever. Yun and I are basically the same. Ji turned to me. I'm gone the moment I master your style. Don't forget. Good, I snapped. Just don't come crying when I won't take you back. Bai Mu whispered. Your skill is unreal, Yun. I can't wrap my head around it. I'm supposed to be a master, but I'm not even close to your level. I played it cool. The path is eternal. We're just travelers on the road. Ji Meng stared. The peak is a myth, yet he acts like he's there. I ruffled the kid's hair. So, did your big brother look like a hero? Bai Mu watched me, every move, every word. It's all so much deeper. We can't stay here, the prince said. Let's get back to my place. By morning, Li Yi was stripped of power but still held the family keys. I showed up with a bowl of rice and incense. Hey, 8527. Li Yi stormed out. I was looking for you, Yun. Glad you're here to die. You were just a servant once. I laughed. Glad you're out. Let's celebrate. Kill him! Li Yi screamed. His guy lunged and caught Rice in the face. The power gap was total. He hit the dirt before he could even blink. Attacking a nobleman is a death sentence, I barked. My men surrounded him. Li Yi panicked. The king put me in charge. You wouldn't dare do it. You're a nobody now. Killing you is like putting down a stray dog. I'll deal with the king. Take his head. My guys moved in fast. Li Yi drew his blade, screaming, You're all dead! Stay away from me! A blue light flared. A 5-star master? The brat was hiding his strength. He's dangerous. Jimeng asked if he should step in to end it. My guys are only 3-star masters. They won't be able to touch him. Don't take chances, I said. Jimeng moved like a bolt of lightning. Their blades clashed with a ring. A tier 3 weapon? Jimeng was shocked. He gritted his teeth. So what? My level is higher. You're done, kid. Ice spread under Li Yi's feet as he slammed his blade into the floor. You have no shame! A blast of freezing energy erupted from the ground. My men were frozen solid in an instant. Li Yi let out a jagged laugh. I dropped from above, grinning. Nice move. You've clearly practiced running away. Li Yi swung his steel upward. You filth. You think you can stop me? Cornered. The kid fought to stay upright as the heavy pressure spiked tenfold. My guards broke their chains. Panic flared in his eyes as he dodged my strike by a hair, sensing the Reaper's breath. Kimong lunged forward, his blade carving lethal, shimmering patterns through the air toward his throat. Suddenly, a massive shockwave intercepted the steel. Someone fast, deadly fast, had just crashed into the fight. An elite enforcer slammed down, shattering the ground. He shoved the crowd back and grabbed the boy. Not yet, the kid snarled, shaking him off. I'm not leaving until I gut this little rat. He leveled his sword at me, eyes burning with hate, then suddenly froze. His face went pale. Twin streaks of hellfire tore through the sky. The split flame? The stranger gasped, raising his trident. He surged forward, a tidal wave erupting from his weapon to collide with my searing inferno. Steam blinded us. Realizing he was outmatched, the stranger grabbed the boy and bolted into the mist. Silence fell as the smoke drifted away. Van Thuong stepped out of the haze, looking shaken. Why is an elite assassin hunting you? She asked. I sheathed my blade. I'm just as surprised. She glanced at the guard. How'd they track us? I sighed. That's a long, bloody story. What brings you here, Professor? I asked. She mentioned my song from last night, the one that bloomed flowers. Magic like that requires a specific soul, a specific moment, I told her. The mood is dead. Her face fell. A shame. I was hoping to witness the impossible just one more time. Next time, I promised. Then I turned cold. There's a killer in the capital, working for him. They tried to poison the commander yesterday. They're planning something big, something dark and permanent. Tell the king to lock down the city. Hunt them. No prisoners. No mercy. She nodded. I'll talk to his majesty. But the commander. Can you actually save him? As long as my heart beats, I replied. He's not going anywhere. I'll fix him. Fine. I'll station guards at your door, she said, turning to leave. I just waved her off. The kid had high-level backing. If the king wasn't behind this, he certainly couldn't stop it. Wait here, I told my men. I headed deep into the derelict wing of the estate. The mansion was a labyrinth. I stopped before a rotting door and kicked it off its hinges. Stop hiding, old man, I called out. Unless you want me to renovate this floor with your head, nothing but dust and junk. I drew my steel and sliced a pillar, the wood splintering like bone. I nicked my palm, letting the red droplets hit the floorboards. Then, a voice from the shadows. How'd you spot me? He growled. I smiled. Blood recognizes blood. You're losing your touch, fossil. A shadow detached itself from the wall. A low, raspy chuckle filled the room. Clever little brat. Grandfather the Great Duke himself grinned. So, you finally cleared those blocked energy channels, eh? He looked me over. 4-star rank? Incredible. You make those so-called geniuses look like absolute trash. I grabbed my sword back. What's the play, Gramps? Why are you lurking in the dark like a ghost? If I hadn't felt your pulse just now, he said, I'd have thought you were buried 6 feet under. Please, I scoffed. 8,527 slaves couldn't kill me. You really think I'm that pathetic? He blinked, surprised. Wait, you actually sensed me while I was fully suppressed in the dark? You think I'd stand still for a killer if I didn't know my own flesh and blood was watching? He looked stunned. That's impossible. My stealth technique is flawless. Nobody sees me coming. I sat down, dismissive. Forget your ego. Look at the mess we're in. What's your next move? He sat across from me, his eyes sharp. You tell me, kid. What do you think I'm planning? You're playing dead to avoid the crossfire, I said, waiting to see which way the wind blows. The king is ancient. The crown is heavy. This whole kingdom is about to go up in flames. You're staying in the shadows to secure a back door for us before the walls close in. He smiled, a dangerous glint in his eye. You've got it all figured out, haven't you? I shrugged. I had a hunch. But I didn't think you'd actually be this paranoid, Gramps. I almost let that snake ruin me, but the moment I felt your power, I knew the truth. A smug grin crossed my face. You've ascended to the 5 elements stage, haven't you? A true martial king. The old man laughed, stroking his beard. My legacy is finally safe. You really knew how to play the part. You fooled the whole capital. Hell, you even fooled me. I thought you were just some useless piece of trash. Besides what you noticed, I had a plan. I needed to see who would break while I was gone. The results were pathetic. Your father snuck back to the city once just to check in, then vanished again. Your 4th uncle is the only one worth a damn, but you treat him like a puppet, don't you? He waved his hand dismissively. Everything has changed. You've exceeded every expectation I ever had for you. If things hadn't gotten this bad, you'd still be playing dumb. Tell me, how do you see the current mess? Do you have a plan? I just shrugged. I don't care about the family business or who sits on a throne. Find another heir. I'm chasing the absolute peak of power. These little games aren't worth my time. But looking at the state of this kingdom, there is only one person who can actually seize control. Without a doubt, it's the second prince, Prince Tao Nuet. He's the one who will take the crown. My grandfather frowned. How can you be so sure? Our family has always thrown its weight behind the first prince. I looked him in the eye. Because I'm the one backing Tao Nuet. His victory is already set in stone. He sat up straight, completely shocked, then burst into a roar of laughter. The world has truly left me behind. I've been locked away for too long. Fine. If this is the new era, then I am all in on you. I'm moving the whole Lee clan onto your ship. We shared a dark look before he suddenly jumped. Damn, time's up. He hit a switch on a pillar, and a secret passage hissed open in the floor. I followed him down. A scream of pure agony ripped through the air of the hidden room below us. Inside, an alchemist was struggling to stabilize a man. I sensed the presence of a 3-star martial lord. These guys weren't amateurs. Their power was real, and their connection to my grandfather clearly ran very deep. When the session ended, Grandpa looked exhausted. Each time we purge the poison, it takes more out of me. The alchemist shook his head. I've done everything possible. The deep-sea ice chi in his body is terminal. It's a miracle he's lasted this long. If your own strength hadn't kept rising, the frost would have won years ago. These are the last 30 soul fusion pills I can make. They will keep him stable for 30 days. After that, even your power as a 1-star martial king won't be enough to hold back the cold poison. Grandpa clutched the bottle, his voice cracking. What do you mean? You can't just give up on him now. 5 years ago, you paid me a fortune to keep him alive, the master said. My debt is fully paid. The cold has reached his marrow. Even if you doubled my fee, there is nothing left to be done. Dyson looked up, his face full of grief. Brother, stop. You've sacrificed too much of your life for me. If you hadn't wasted your energy on me, you'd be a 6-path martial sect master by now. It's time to stop being a burden. I'm actually happy this is finally over. He let out a tragic laugh. The alchemist bowed to them both. I stepped into his path, my eyes cold and full of disdain. Hold on, you're telling me you're actually supposed to be some kind of level 3 master? If you weren't the old man's blood? He snarled. I'd destroy your cultivation right here for that insult. You're just a low-tier alchemist with a massive ego. What if you were a level 8 or 9 master? Would you just kill anyone who dared to look at you? The man shook with rage, pointing a finger. You arrogant brat. You know nothing. Even your king has to show me respect when I walk in. Shut up, Grandpa yelled. He's an honored guest from the Fire Crow Empire's Alchemist Guild. Show some class. The man sneered at me. While I was making a name for myself in the Empire, you were still nursing. Making a name for yourself? Give me a break. You're a joke. If you're a legend, the Empire is doomed. A level 5 master might have something to say, but a level 3 nobody like you? Stop lying. Do you want me to tell the guild exactly how you failed here? Let's see how famous you are then. I turned my back on his sputtering rage, my eyes fixed on the man freezing to death on the floor. Discipline your brat, Thuan. Scram, you arrogant punk. Is leaving really enough? Break his damn legs. I shut him up. He hit the dirt. A level 3 master? Look, I'm one too. A level 2? Impossible. There's always bigger fish. Learn before you're killed. You're faking that badge. Imposters, D, kid. Bite me. Another slap? He flinched, terrified. He couldn't dodge me. Leave while I'm nice. Is that badge real? Nobody fakes these, uncle. What else are you hiding? He's a level 2 genius. A one of a kind. I wish he was mine. Are you trans grandfather? Dyson took my place. I was busy training. Was he hurt then? Yes. A brutal war. Everyone died that day. I've been sick since. 10 survived. All broken. They brought a doctor. Why fight for rank? Resources. Power. Survival. 9 kingdoms, 3 tiers. Strong masters grant status. Top tiers get everything. Lower tiers fight scraps. War is constant here. Survival is about strength. Power equals resources. Humans are just grass. We need stronger warriors. We lean on Tu Tien. Wait, Tu Tien Tong? What was his name again? The heir? Forgotten. Thuan Duong kept talking. Chi Feng of Heaven Sect. 7-star master. Nearly an 8 desolation king. Trained by the emperor himself. No one dares cross him. I smirked. Right. Chi Feng? That kid's the sect leader? An emperor now? Happened after my fall, I guess. He was just a king then. Avoid the fire empire, he warned. Don't cross the Heaven Sect. Even their disciples are deadly. I asked about the 5-year war. 5 years ago, we were crushed. We're sitting this one out. Sacrificing resources for peace is our only path to recovery. Move fast, I said. The king won't go down without fighting. Only the prince can stop this. He looked totally blindsided. The world's changed, he whispered. You don't know the half of it. The king's cruelty hurts, but I'm already a dead man walking. Watch my family. He gripped my hand, eyes full of desperation. As long as I'm here, they're safe. They both started sobbing. I ate watermelon, killing the drama. It's just poison, guys, relax. No funerals. I've seen this icy poison before. Deep and bone-chilling. It's been there for years. You were both hit by the same killer. Frozen energy, he nodded. The top warrior of the 100 nations. King Dichtiosun, they said. I recalled that ice move earlier. Same technique, but that kid's power was nothing compared to yours. Thuan Duong froze. The king and Dichtiosun back him? I should have killed him. I smiled. You'll get another chance. Cure the old man first. He pulled out some useless medicine. Even masters failed. What can we do? I just stared back. Curing it is hard, but suppressing it? I can do that easily. He grabbed me. What? Don't you dare play with me, boy. I shook the vial. King's chi with pills? The master was close, but ignorant. Wrong dose, wrong energy. Your chi is the issue. You need pure yang power, he sighed. In this whole nation. Only 3 have it, but none follow the yang path. Where is one? I knew. Commander Lac Ven Thuong. She's a bit weak, but her energy is pure, burning yang. He stood up, ready. Are you sure? I'll go snatch her. Wait, I said. First, I need to refine a suppression pill. He tossed me a key. The family vault. I kept it hidden. Half is gone, but the rest is inside. See if it's enough. I took the key, grinning. The kingdom's most powerful family vault. Must have good loot. Exactly what I need to level up. I waved goodbye, dreaming of treasure. The guards started whispering. Where's he going? Young master's back. I ran to my uncle. Take me to the vault. He froze. That place is sacred. And that key. You saw the master? Is he okay? I sighed. Stop talking and take me there. It's the old man's orders. I stood at the glowing gate. Vermilion fire? No way, I gasped. Feng's jaw dropped. You recognize this seal? Impossible. My father hired every elite expert in the city. None could crack it, I noted. When was this built? Feng sighed. It's ancient history. Predates our family's rise, he whispered. This isn't our work. It's something far older and deadlier. I stared. The Vermilion Fire Array. A lost 9th-tier relic. Extinct for centuries, except in myth. If my ancestors built this, they were gods. We are just shadows of their former glory. I slid the key home. The mechanism groaned, revealing a dark hallway that smelled of dust. This is forbidden ground, Feng stammered. I cannot enter without permission. I'll stay here and watch. Fine by me. I stepped into the shadows. The air felt heavy with the weight of secrets. Glowing crystals illuminated the descent. At the bottom, I found the heart of the hidden vault. I laughed. A spatial ring? No, this is something massive, anchored to a divine source of power. No wonder the fire seal was here. This artifact was never meant for mortal hands to hold. I pushed my perception to the limit. Where was the anchor? Where did this energy bleed from? The pressure spiked. Pain exploded in my skull, and hot blood began leaking from my eyes. I collapsed, trembling. Wiping the red away, I grinned. So, you've got teeth. Let's play. Time to see your true face. I focused my spirit into a single, piercing drop of essence. The stone shell shattered. Shards fell away to reveal a blinding, pulsing core of pure light. The world deity Steely. My god. How could anything be this terrifyingly beautifully powerful? It scorched my soul, bypassing my mental shields as if they were made of thin glass. This force dwarfed my legendary 9th-tier blade. It was like trying to swallow the entire galaxy. The 10 directions, I breathed. The realm where men become legends, or they become gods. Was this a weapon left by a martial god? It had to be. Nothing else feels this absolute. Only divine power strikes the soul directly. I felt the weight of eternity pressing on my heart. My inner technique surged, dancing in sync with the steely's ancient, humming, rhythmic heartbeat. The energy fused. A blueprint of the cosmos etched itself into the fabric of my mind. God-tier cultivation, I realized. The power began to overflow, threatening to drown my very existence. I tapped into the astral flow. It was a miracle, a dangerous, soul-altering miracle from the stars. I bloomed my spirit like a lotus, desperate to anchor the stele before it erased me. Suddenly, it vanished. It plunged into my sea of consciousness, heavy, cold, and permanent. I sensed the source. Success. I had claimed the cosmic pillar, but at what cost? I opened my eyes. The vault was empty. The spatial pocket had simply evaporated into nothing. I felt the surge 5-star peak, but the stele remained a locked, silent door in my mind. I could enter its space, but I couldn't command it. For now, it was just a passenger, a second world in my head. Whatever, I sighed. I had much more urgent work to do. The vault was empty. The legacy was mine. Now, I had to start brewing the medicine. I needed to heal my allies and prepare for the war that was already knocking. The kingdom is a powder keg. Peace is just a lie we tell the dying. At the Alchemist Guild, the clerk stuttered. Jiarong is. He is in deep, deep meditation. Get him, I snapped. He won't mind the interruption if it's me. Go now. But the risk. If we break his focus, the mental backlash could be fatal to him. His soul could shatter, the girl warned, her face pale. I didn't even blink at her. If he finds out I was here and you stayed silent, that's your real death sentence. She looked at me like I was a monster, arrogant, reckless. Perhaps she was right. Alchemists think they're kings of the world. They don't look down for anyone beneath them. He's just a spoiled brat with a sword, they whispered. They had no idea who I was. I didn't care for their opinions. I have a list, I said. Bring me every item. I needed a quick batch of meds. Van Vu looked at me like I was crazy. He babbled about hiring experts. I told him I did not need any help. Since when did this guild get so chatty? Mong looked incredibly skeptical. I once waited a month for a simple grade 2 pill. This was ridiculous. I dismissed them. Just get Jia wrong. Stop wasting my damn time. Van Vu hesitated. I snapped at him. Are you calling him or am I leaving? I turned to walk away. Kamong was shocked. I was disrespecting a master. I told them to let the king die. Maybe then they would listen to me. Wait, Van Vu screamed. I will drag him out even if he is dead. I smirked. He is in deep meditation. We should not disturb him, right? Van Vu panicked. The commander is dying. Only you can save this nation. He ran to find Jia Rong. If he failed me, his career was over. The king and the guild leader would tear him apart for this mistake. Mong wondered who I was. Van Vu led us to the private lab. He pointed at Lu Jiao. You, go knock. She looked like a ghost. Her hand shook. They both expected the master to kill whoever woke him. The door flew open. Gu Rong stormed out with eyes full of rage. Who dares disturb me? Van Vu stammered, pointing at the poor girl. He roared at her. Then he saw me. His face went totally blank. I did it, I said. Any problems? He immediately turned into a servant. He shoved everyone aside. Why did you not tell me the boss was here? He escorted me inside. This is our finest lab, he bragged like a child. I just nodded and drew my blade. The air in the room froze. Mong gasped. My sword intent was fierce yet graceful, like falling petals. I moved through the forms. Every strike was a dance of life and death. I finished the ritual. If you cannot learn this, you are fired, I said. I do not keep idiots around. Mong immediately sat down to meditate. I walked toward the furnace. Gu Rong ordered the guards to clear the hall. Do not let anyone in, even the king. Lu Jiao nodded in fear. Watch and learn, I told him. You are only here to help me. Honestly, you are just doing grunt work. He did not mind at all. His eyes lit up. Doing your chores is the highlight of my life. I closed my eyes. The divine monument appeared, a shimmering relic of power. Gu Rong's jaw dropped. Did you rob a national treasury for all this? It is my family stash, I replied. He looked like he won the lottery. These ingredients are volatile. My soul power is barely enough to tame them. Skill is not enough. I need raw spiritual energy to survive this process. Today, we both level up to grade 2. Failure means we both burn. Now, get me some tea. He scrambled away as the world turned cold. While we were locked away, the kingdom was being ripped to pieces. My grandfather declared my cousin a traitor. A massive manhunt began instantly. The military purged the traitors. Every official who helped him was dragged out. Houses were raided and burned. Those who resisted were killed on the spot. The critics went silent. Fear is a powerful muzzle when lives are lost. But the main target had vanished. My cousin was gone, like a shadow. 7 million gold, stolen. Bloodshed left him shattered. Treason? I asked Dad. No, it's too loud. He's just swatting ants. Is it just spite? He's baiting a trap. He's looting his rivals. Is the king watching? The king is waiting. The gold buys silence. I don't see it. The king allows this. He backed the prince. Power shifts. Loyalty follows. What's the fox's secret? The prince should win. He's betting on fire. Glory or total ruin. We wait and watch. We aren't ready. Except, is the boy key? Can he heal him? If so, we're done. Hide your hand always. Silence is our shield. The prince's council panicked. Allies are all deserting. The king won't listen. We need a move. I have 3 plans. Spy, you're a corpse. I'm your only hope. Kill me, lose everything. You're an enemy. Die. Frost paralyzed everyone. These are elite masters. Don't waste useful lives. Give me the plans. Exile, kill, and freeze. Exile is impossible now. I won't kill him. Who stops the invaders? If he heals, heal him, lose power. Your Highness, do we even stand a chance? My voice cracked. Zhou Yang's lead vanished. The second, Li Yunxiao stepped into the light. The room felt smaller. I will end him, Zhou Yang hissed, his eyes wild. I will kill Li Yunxiao before he heals the king. Li Yi shook his head. Killing him is just one step. General Zhao King is a loose end that must be cut too. Last time you tried an assassination, remember the outcome? Li Yi's words stung. Gao Feng shuddered at the memory of that bloody failure. Zhou Yang winced. He had not only failed to kill the 7th prince, but he had lost his top commander in that mess. Eliminate Zhao King, and you become the undisputed leader of the realm guards, Li Yi promised, stepping closer like a dark serpent. With 5 full battalions under your thumb, the throne is yours. Think about the strategic border at the Great Mountain. The Gold City and Big Snake Peaks are your natural shields. Our troops are already stationed near Whitehead Station. It was a classic power play. If you open the gates, our army can bypass the mountains and strike from within. Just one letter from you, Prince. Let our 100 warrior legions use the mountain pass to surround Whitehead Station. We will trap the Flying Dragon Legion and Li Chongfeng inside Gold City. Once the perimeter is set, we cut their veins. Without 400,000 tons of supplies, even the legendary Dragon Legion folds within 90 days. Li Sunyang will panic. From his distant post, he will rush back to save his city, leaving the capital wide open for your grand move. You are asking me to burn my house down, Zhou Yang roared. If Gold City falls, my entire eastern border is defenseless. Our enemies will ride through my land like it is an open field. I would lose more than just a town. I would lose half the kingdom, the prince finished, his face pale. Li Yi just smiled, knowing he had him. The kingdom is already failing, Li Yi countered. You will never climb the ranks of the high nations with your current strength. But if General Li marches to the rescue, the ensuing chaos creates the perfect vacuum for us to step in. My nation does not want a long war. We just want to nudge you toward the crown without wasting our own blood. The deal is simple. We draw the general away, you seize the throne, and then you owe us one favor. Help us secure our spot as a high nation when the time comes. Think about the 3 pillars of power in this capital. 1/3 belongs to the Li family, 1/3 to the king's guards, and the final third belongs to you, Prince. Remove the general, and we can flip the king's men. The entire city will fall into your lap like ripe fruit. We will handle the neutral masters and the court sages. No one will be able to lift a finger to stop you. Everything is ready. We will tie up the grandmaster so he cannot intervene. The crown is sitting there, waiting. The people will follow the winner, Li Yi whispered. Zhou Yang's heart raced. The world will belong to me, he breathed. Deep in the lab, I watched Gu Rong sweat over the cauldron. Li Yunxiao's shadow loomed over the entire operation. This is the second one, Gu Rong muttered. A rank 2 fire pill was supposed to be impossible for a novice like him. Yet, with Yunxiao's cryptic advice, the impossible became routine. I need more soul pills and bird spirit medicine, the kid said. I handed him the last of the bird spirit stock. Take this soul pill, he told me. Recover your strength and start another batch. Forget the fire pills for a second. We need to mass produce the spirit enhancers. I need your full focus on this. You want me to handle the secret recipes? Gu Rong's eyes nearly popped out of his head. You are trusting me with these? Yunxiao tossed a piece of paper like it was garbage. Stop acting like a rookie. You have been with me long enough. These low-level formulas are basically street trash. Don't get so worked up over nothing, he added with a yawn. Gu Rong clutched the trash formula like a holy relic. This wasn't junk. My old medicine took 3 days to heal my soul. With this new pill, I could recover in 24 hours. It tripled my efficiency and boosted my raw spiritual output 3 times over. It wasn't just healing, it was evolution. Most pills that boost power leave permanent scars on your inner energy channels. But this bird spirit pill used the body's own hidden potential to forge the meridians into something stronger, something unbreakable. We swallowed the pills together. I felt my mind expand. Sparks of pure inspiration began to dance behind my closed eyelids. This was it, the threshold. I could feel the rank 2 breakthrough clawing at my soul. It felt like lightning in my veins. It was like the first time I ever touched magic, but 1,000 times more intense. Success was pulsing in my heart. I could see the title now. Master Gu Rong, Rank 2 Alchemist. The prestige, the wealth, the absolute power over life and death. My life was about to change. From today on, I wouldn't be a servant or a student. I would be a god among men. I was riding a wave of pure euphoria, ready to conquer the world, until that one specific voice cut through my dream. A sharp, annoying shout from the hallway shattered my concentration. I felt my stomach flip. I wanted to throw up everything. My consciousness felt like it was sinking into a bottomless black ocean. If I couldn't claw my way out of this soul abyss, my mind would be shattered. At best, I'd be a vegetable for life. Then, a voice cut through the void, commanding me to wake up. Was that young Master Yoon? Save me! The hallucination dissolved as I was violently yanked back to the surface, feeling a surge of warm energy flooding my senses. I gasped, eyes snapping open to find blood trickling down my face. Yun Xiao just scoffed, calling me pathetic for passing out over a little sting. He mocked my weakness, wondering how I'd ever survive the real world. Sobbing, I stared at the needle in his hand and lunged forward to hug him. Young master, I almost didn't make it. I was right on the verge of hitting level 2, but that girl Liu Jiao completely ruined my focus. She is my absolute jinx. Yun Xiao just looked at me sideways, asking if I realized I'd actually succeeded in reaching level 2. I froze, then let out a hysterical laugh. Level 2! It actually happened! I really am a level 2 master now. This can't be real. It has to be a dream. Young master, do me a favor and hit me. Punch me hard so I know I'm awake. Before I could even finish the request, Yun Xiao delivered a brutal blow to my gut. It felt like my entire body was breaking apart. I collapsed, clutching my stomach and crying. I asked for a reality check, not an assassination attempt. Why are you so damn ruthless? His fist was still glowing with lingering energy. He muttered that in all his decades traveling the continent, he'd never met anyone so thick-skinned. It seemed the pill's power wasn't quite enough to spark my full potential, but it was sufficient to push my cultivation forward. At the very least, I've broken through to become a level 2 alchemist. I finally feel worthy of wearing this professional badge. I scrambled to my feet, shaking my head. This is totally unfair. When we first met, you were basically a nobody with 0 skills. Now you're a 6-star warrior and a level 2 alchemist in record time. My poor heart just can't keep up with this pace. Yun Xiao gave me a cold smirk, suggesting that if my heart was that weak, maybe we should just swap them out. I stammered a frantic refusal, just as Liu Jiao burst through the door, looking completely panicked. She apologized for the intrusion but looked desperate. Your father, Li Changfeng, is trapped. The enemy has him surrounded at Kun Kim City, and all communication lines have been cut. The Grand Duke is absolutely livid and is already mobilizing the army for a rescue. We were ordered to get you back to take command. Yun Xiao sighed, annoyed that the world had gone to hell after only 10 days of seclusion. It seems someone has a serious death wish. I'm done here, he said. You all get some rest. I'm heading out to settle this mess once and for all. Outside the Alchemist Guild, a crowd was gathered, whispering in confusion as they watched Qi Mong meditating on top of a hot furnace. He opened his eyes, saw Yun Xiao approaching, and immediately dropped to one knee. From this day forward, I am your shadow, he declared. I pledge my life to your service. Please, teach me the true path of power. Yun Xiao looked down at him with an unimpressed expression. You hit level 2 in 10 days? That's pretty mediocre talent. Whether you can follow me depends on your grit and what you contribute. The crowd nearly choked. Mediocre? K. Mong is a high-level master. People couldn't believe what they were hearing from this kid. At that stage of martial arts, every single advancement is like trying to grab a star from the sky. It's supposed to be impossible, but 10 days? 10 days to level up? The onlookers were stunned, unable to comprehend that kind of rapid progression. And to this boy, that kind of speed is just average? K. Mong didn't even flinch, admitting that he was slow and lacked natural genius. I'll work 10 times harder than the rest. I'll give 100 times more effort just to prove I'm worthy of standing behind you. Yun Xiao nodded. History's greatest masters didn't just have talent, they had the heart and the persistence to never back down. I like your attitude. Starting now, you're part of my inner circle. Qi Mong looked like he'd just been handed the keys to the kingdom. As they walked away, I hurried after them, feeling left out. If he's your confidant now, what does that make me? Yun Xiao didn't even look back. You? You're my servant. Maybe when you reach level 4, I'll consider giving you a promotion. Level 4? Who knows how many years that will take, but fine, just let me stay with you for now, please. The witnesses were speechless. A level 4 servant? They realized this young man was operating on a level they couldn't even imagine. As the three of us reached the exit, Commander Bai Mu and his elite guard were already waiting, looking tense and ready for war. The situation in the capital is critical, he warned. The prince is worried that assassins might target you, so he sent me personally. I'm here to ensure you make it back safely, Bai Mu said. Yun Xiao let out a dry, mocking laugh at the news. My head must be worth a lot if a top commander is playing my bodyguard. Let's get moving then, shall we? As the escort moved out, an assassin's arrow suddenly hissed through the air. Bai Mu vaulted from his horse in a blur of motion. He deflected the attack instantly, shouting for the guards to stay sharp. Yun Xiao calmly picked up the fallen arrow to inspect it. This is bamboo reinforced with ironwood. Standard military issue. Qimong whispered, asking if the prince's own people were responsible. Not likely, Yun Xiao replied coolly. Stay alert. The real enemy wouldn't be this sloppy or this obvious about their gear. Li's roar shattered the air. Slaughter every last one. No survivors. I spun around, eyes locking onto him. You again, you backstabbing snake. Luo Yunshang isn't here to play savior this time, Li sneered. There's no escape. Brothers, handle the rest. Leave the brat to me, I barked at my crew. Yuan Jia and Yuan Wen shrugged off their heavy capes, ready for blood. They loomed over Ji Meng. Show us something worth our time, boy. It'd be a shame if you broke too early. Don't sweat the small fry, brother, Yuan Wen chuckled. I'll keep the garbage off your back. Go ahead, skin him alive, he added. I pulled out a glowing pill, glancing at Li. You know, disloyal dogs always bite their masters. Time to take out the Li family trash myself. I tossed the medicine to Ji Meng. Choke this down. Hold those two off while I gut this traitor, then I'm coming for them. Ji Meng gulped it back. Li burst out laughing. Hold back, two legends? You're delusional if you think that Weakling is a threat. A bottom-tier grunt against a 3-talent master? That's the funniest joke I've heard today. Ji Meng's eyes snapped open, glowing with raw, violent energy. Yuan Jia's smile faded. An essence burst pill? Pills or not, a fly is still a fly to a lion. Wait, what is happening? He's hit the 9-star peak, Yuan Wen shouted. But the surge isn't stopping. Is his body going to give out? This pressure? It's insane. Yuan Jia's knees actually shook. Ji Meng ascended right before our eyes, radiating pure dominance. No way, Yuan Jia stammered. That's a Grandmaster's presence. He actually crossed the threshold? Yuan Wen gasped. What kind of god-tier alchemy was in that pill? Can a single dose really rewrite destiny? Ji Meng stepped forward, voice cold. Who was talking about skinning who? Petals of energy swirled around him like a deadly storm. The two brothers exchanged a look of pure dread. How can a nobody hit this level? Yuan Jia roared, channeling his inner strength into his weapon. Raw power isn't everything, brat. You lack the soul of a true warrior. Let me show you the difference between us. Mountain Splitter Silver Wing. He lunged, his spear trailing a freezing crystalline wake of absolute zero. Ji Meng's eyes narrowed, visualizing my every move. He swung with everything he had. Spirit Serpent Sword Unleash. A crimson whip of energy tore through the frost, wrapping around the spear and Yuan Jia's forearm like a hungry viper. Blood sprayed as the grip tightened. My absolute frost. Shattered by a peasant? Yuan Jia hissed in disbelief. With a desperate yell, he detonated his remaining energy, shattering the red bindings. Ji Meng gritted his teeth. Damn it, my flow is blocked. He's not just strong, he's overriding the natural laws of combat. Every petal carries a killing intent, Yuan Wen realized. He threw himself into the fray to save his brother. Eat dirt, kid, Yuan Wen lunged. Ji Meng just spared him a sideways glance. Petals swarmed Yuan Wen like a hive of bees. He leaped, bringing down a frozen arc of steel. Flowers? Flowers blocked my blade? He couldn't believe it. That pill is a goddamn miracle. Sensing the tide turning, they tried to regroup. Ji Meng didn't give them an inch, closing the gap instantly. He was taking them both on at once. Li Dut watched from the sidelines, greed burning in his eyes. If I get my hands on that formula, I'll be unstoppable. I'll break that brat until he talks. Li drew his steel, screaming, "Face your end, boy!" I just sighed. I was giving you a front row seat to the show. But if you're in such a hurry to settle your tab, step up. Li blinked. My tab? You lived under my roof for years. You ate our bread and wore our clothes, only to bite the hand that fed you. That's a debt paid in blood, Li roared, igniting his Tier 3 Frostblade. Arrogant brat. Cold energy flooded the room. "Watch out, young master," Gurong screamed in terror. "A fancy sword is useless in the hands of a coward. You're dreaming if you think that saves you." Hundredfold gravity drop. The air became lead, slamming Lee face first into the dirt. I blurred past him, kicking the blade from his grip. "My steel," he wheezed, clawing at the ground. I snatched the weapon up. "It's a piece of junk, but consider it interest for all those free meals you stole from my family." "Ugh, that same old trick?" Yun Xiao lunged forward, disarming Li Yi in a flash. "My blade!" Yi screamed as it hit the dirt. He tried to crawl for it, but the heavy gravity kept him pinned down. Yun Xiao snatched the weapon up easily. "This blade is mediocre, but I'll take it as interest. You've been a parasite on the Li estate long enough." "Give it back, you beast!" he screamed, his mind fractured by years of rage. He lunged, his energy coiling for a brutal strike. I turned slowly. "You want this hunk of junk? Fine. Take it." I unleashed a frost slash that froze the very air. Our powers collided with a deafening crack. My strike tore through his offense like a hot knife through butter, neutralizing him instantly. His eyes widened. "That is frost energy. How do you know my secret arts?" I smirked. "Copying a low-tier gimmick? Child's play. Are you not embarrassed to even use that?" I added. His face turned purple. "Fine. If you are so gifted, return my blade." I tapped my ring, dismissive. "You think I covet your trash? I have my own grade 3 steel." I unsheathed the spring water sword. He stumbled back, jaw-dropping. "Another grade 3? That is impossible. How could a brat like you possess such a relic?" "You are awfully chatty today," I noted. "Trying to buy a few extra seconds of life? Tell me, how long does the river flow?" "Always eastward. The scent of blossoms intoxicates the guests, but one sharp edge can purge 14 provinces." Witness the dual frost. He trembled as terror paralyzed him. He could not believe his eyes someone was actually dual-wielding 2 grade 3 artifacts at once. Even a legendary martial lord would struggle to sync 2 high-level weapons. It was not just difficult. It was unheard of, especially with conflicting elements. My mind raced. Who the hell is this kid? Li Yunxiao is a walking anomaly, a total nightmare. He is too dangerous to breathe. He charged again, pouring every ounce of his essence into one final, desperate gamble. "I do not care if you have 10 swords," he roared. "There are 2 entire tiers between us. You cannot bridge that gap." 2 tiers? I scoffed. "A martial lord like you does not even make me blink. Hey, Eighth, look into my eyes." He locked eyes with me and froze. His scream died in his throat as his consciousness began to shatter under my gaze. He was a puppet now, his body no longer his own. "Good boy," I whispered. "Kneel before me, or I will carve you up." He dropped to the floor like a broken doll. I moved like lightning, both blades singing as they found their mark. "Brother, watch out!" his comrade yelled, but it was too late. I took his arm clean off before he could even scream. He came to, howling in agony. "Forget the mission. We need to bail." His allies slammed down a smokescreen to retreat. They snatched the crippled man and vanished into the sky. I did not bother chasing. "Let them go. How is the commander?" I exhaled sharply. That soul seal took a massive toll on my mental reserves. I cannot pull that trick again anytime soon. I need to be smarter. My defense is solid, but my energy is bottoming out. I looked over the carnage. The count was staggering. The survivor, battered and bleeding, pointed to the treachery. Gao Feng's men. They ambushed us from within. It was a massacre. I saw the guard kneeling over a fallen soldier. "One of yours?" I asked. He nodded, his voice thick with grief. His name was Liu Zheng, only 27, 3-star rank. I kept telling him he had a bright future if he stayed sharp. "He died for his creed," I said softly. "As a National Guard, he fulfilled his vow. There is a certain peace in that." His eyes were wet. "They were all good men. They should not have died in some back-alley betrayal. They deserved much better." "Honor is not reserved for the battlefield," I reminded him. "They did their jobs. That is enough." We stood in silence. Back at the palace, the mood was grim. "That traitorous snake is still in the capital," the king spat. "I thought he fled." "The prince is in bed with the enemy," the princess whispered. "Betraying the clan just to settle a grudge? Has he no soul?" "If that is the case," the advisor added, "it explains exactly why the city fell so fast. It was an inside job." My heart skipped a beat. "What is the situation?" The princess handed me a report: 800,000 enemy troops. The enemy broke the pass and now has the city surrounded. My father, the general, is currently trapped inside. "What is the court's move?" I asked. The king was panicking. "The city is our last line. He is calling the old guard. He wants the duke to lead the relief force." I stood there, stone-faced. The advisor watched me, confused by my silence. His father is at death's door, he thought. Normally, a kid would be screaming for blood, but he is chillingly calm. Yun Xiao wondered what was happening. Yue looked grim. "The news arrived 5 days ago from the front lines. 800,000 soldiers from the Battle Kingdom crushed Whitehead Pass and have now surrounded Kunjin City. Your father, General Flying Dragon, is still trapped there fighting. The plea for reinforcements just reached the capital palace. How did the court react? Kunjin is our final shield. If it falls, the consequences for the kingdom will be catastrophic. The king is panicking. He's calling for the duke to mobilize the army and march to the front immediately. He's summoning all the military leaders, demanding that the old duke take command of the relief force right now. The duke? You mean the old man? I asked. Pure Yang watched me, his mind racing at my reaction. Anyone else would be losing their mind knowing their father was in danger, but this kid is eerily calm. It's unsettling. Listen, he muttered. Kon Kim is a fortress. Your father has 300,000 elite guards inside. 800,000 enemies is one thing. But you're saying the officials are in bed with the prince? Then the rescue call is a total sham. Their real goal is to draw us out into the open. Once we leave the capital, the first prince can take whatever he wants. By the time we realize that the front line was a distraction and rush back, it will be over. No room for regrets. Exactly, the old man replied. Sharp kid, but what if the distress call is actually real? If your father can't hold a fortress with 300,000 men, then he deserves to fail. He needs to learn. Besides, you know I cannot leave this city right now. I stayed silent. I knew the old man was still haunted by the Tran incident. Sir, think bigger, I said. Even if that letter is real, the situation is worse than you think. The enemy has been stuck in those mountains for a century. They do not just play nice. You think they're just helping a prince seize a throne? They want the whole damn kingdom. The prince paled. You mean an actual invasion? If that city falls, the heartland is wide open. Their cavalry would burn everything to the ground. We cannot let that happen. It is impossible. Their true motives are a blur, I replied. They want us confused and second-guessing every move. But we cannot ignore the call. Even if it is a trap, we have to walk into it. The old man stood up, his face dark. That prince has lost his mind. This is suicide. He has waited for that throne his whole life, I said. Then you were born and ruined it. The scales tipped. Now he is willing to burn the world just to sit on the ashes. The prince slammed the table. My brother is a monster. He would sacrifice everyone for his own ego. If he wants the crown that badly, I will just step aside. An official suddenly cried out. Your Highness, no! You are the light of this nation. You are the only hope for the people. If he takes power, darkness will swallow us. Chaos will be our only law and our only future. Millions of lives are on the brink. For their sake, you must fight for that throne. The prince sighed. Fine. For the people, I will fight my brother to the bitter end. The official began to sob. Such wisdom. Under your rule, our nation will finally see its glory. I rolled my eyes. This fake performance was nauseating. The old man narrowed his eyes at the official. If you care so much, I will give you 300,000 men. Go save the city yourself. The man froze. Well, that is. A commander turned to me. Do you have a plan? The official glared. He was sure this was just a ploy to make me look like a hero. If I saved the day, my family's legacy would be untouchable for 1,000 years. I have a plan, I said. But it is not for everyone's ears. The official huffed, pointing. These are the prince's most trusted men. How dare you? I stared back. I don't trust them. Actually, let me be clear. I do not trust any of you. At all. His face turned red. This is an insult. You are disrespecting the prince himself. I did not even blink. If you stay, you bet your life. One word leaks, and I take your head. Deal? The room went silent. They looked at my eyes and felt a chill. This was no game. Who was this kid? Why should they be responsible if secrets got out? They looked at the prince. Go, the prince said warily. Go to the tavern. Get some drinks. Just leave us alone. The officials stormed out, knocking over chairs. They headed straight for the nearest bar in a rage. Okay, they are gone, the commander said. Can you talk now, or do I leave too? I grinned. Relax. The plan is simple. We strike both ends of the snake at once. The prince sighed. I never considered that. But we are short on men. The capital is locked. The king's stance is clear, the old man said. He is already replacing our generals with puppets. And if that city actually falls, we will not just lose a battle, we lose the kingdom. We are cornered. Our only shot is mobilizing 500,000 Central Army troops. Pure Sun countered, noting the crown prince leads them. He will never help us. Begging is useless. Even a royal decree won't stop his betrayal. He will watch us rot. I could rally veterans, but the Duke must stay to guard the capital's heart. Von Tio spoke up. The city needs its shield. You stay. I will lead the rescue. Pure Sun was shocked. You? Those old war dogs are too arrogant to follow a kid. Without a legend at the helm, they will just become a lawless, uncontrollable mob. White Eyes added that even with veterans, the numbers are too thin to save the city. If Kong Kim falls, that small force won't make a dent. Van Tio just smirked. You are all forgetting 3 key players. Moon was baffled. 3? Who is left? First is the leader. I may be young, but I have a commander they will respect. He is currently a wreck, but under my care, he will return to his prime. With the right medicine, he will be a monster on the battlefield once again. Pure Sun asked if he really found a cure. Ventier produced his mystic fire pills. These will burn out the frost poison instantly, restoring his peak power without any side effects. Perfect! Pure Sun cheered. Moon was still lost. Who exactly are you talking about? The man who scorched 30,000 miles of enemy land, General Chen Daisheng. He lives. Moon gasped. The loyal general? I thought he died in that suicide mission years ago. The king betrayed him to weaken me. He barely crawled back from that hell. Assassins tried to finish him that night. My father was a fool to treat him so. I used a death row decoy to fake his passing. He has been hidden ever since. He recovered in my secret vault, while the world mourned a ghost. The king gave him a title but dragged his family's honor through the mud. Moon and White Eyes bowed. When I take the throne, I will restore his knee. White Eyes realized the truth. If Chen is the muscle, then Tio is the heartbeat. That frost poison from Yi Xiaoshan is nothing. I can suppress it easily, Van Tio said. White Eyes called him a genius. With those two, the rescue mission was finally possible. I am curious about the third person, Moon said. Who else could we possibly need? Van Tio laughed. I am going to help you build an entire army overnight. Pure Sun was confused. An army? From where? Van Tio pointed to the academy. Your teacher, Zhang Lishan. Moon shook his head. He stays out of politics entirely. He only fights if the nation is falling. Van Tio smirked. I don't need him. I need his students. Remember the Great Crisis from 60 years ago? The regular army folded, and rebels reached the gates. The academy director stepped in. He mobilized the students. They didn't just save the city, they won the entire war. They chased the rebels 30,000 miles and were named the 1st Guardian Corps. It is break time now. Students are looking for dangerous training missions for credit. The academy's training is already lethal. Kong Kim City won't be any different for them. If we make the rescue an official mission and double the rewards, they will flock. Moon's eyes lit up. A battalion of young masters. We would be completely unstoppable. Every legend in our history started at that academy. It is time they made history. We will have an army of warriors and masters ready to die for glory. One of them will be worth 100 regular soldiers. This plan is brilliant. Let the world see the power of the next generation. Let us take back our city. History repeats itself today. The academy will save the kingdom once again. Prince Nuyet is drafting every student, the very foundation of this dying kingdom's future. He brought academy masters too. Even the weakest among them is a seasoned grandmaster. We need Lac Van Tueng's help to stabilize the general's chaotic, frozen internal energy. She is a true warlord. Thuan Duong's move is brilliant, seizing all future elite warriors. He is not just building an army, he is claiming the nation's entire next generation. These youths are the country's bedrock. I noted that General Tio's injuries are critical. His grip on the royal guard is slipping. His authority is now almost non-existent. Unit 1 backs the eldest prince. Unit 3 follows Nuyet. The others are scattering. But if the Marshal King returns, the guard will fall in line behind Prince Nuyet. This realm has only 3 kings, and they all support you. Victory is inevitable. Nuyet nodded. Who is the third? But Mo asked if it was Duke Tuanzung. The Duke laughed. No more secrets. I have reached the 5 elements stage, Marshal King. Everyone stood to bow and offer praise. I alone remained seated, merely clapping. At ease, he said, glancing at me. He saw my advice as a stroke of genius. To him, the prince's victory was certain. Suddenly, the prince walked straight toward me. You are my lucky star, he said. When I take the throne, I will reward you. Let us be sworn brothers today. We will share the glory and the pain. Your thoughts? The Duke watched, thinking this bond would make our family's future legendary and secure. Bachmao smiled, seeing me as a talent worth every ounce of the prince's effort. I pulled my hand back. Let us just talk about that some other time, I muttered. The prince froze, his mouth hanging open. He could not believe my blatant audacity. He is royalty, the future king. Offering brotherhood to a teenager is a massive, rare honor. Millions would die for this, yet I refused. My peers looked on in total awe. That is my idol, they whispered. The Duke knew this pond was too small for me. He realized I had been hiding my true self, eyes set far beyond these borders. I did not care for their games. Only this crisis forced my hand today. Otherwise, I would still be playing the fool. The nation comes first, Bak Mao lied. He tried to save face, claiming we should not worry about titles during this war. Wait until he is crowned to swear the oath, he suggested, smoothing the tension. The prince rubbed his head. Right. I am overexcited. We will wait for the coronation. Everyone breathed again. I looked up. The coronation? Honestly, let us just forget it. I walk alone. I do not do brothers. Do not ever bring this up again. The silence was lethal. They wondered if my brain was simply wired for total rebellion. Even if I hated the idea, why humiliate the future king in front of everyone? The prince stood like a statue. The duke coughed loudly to break the heavy silence. The boy knows his place. A subject cannot be a brother to his sovereign. The prince forced a laugh. Unique. He is truly the duke's grandson, through and through. Know your role, the duke warned me, hiding his shock. Be a good subject. I taught you better. I just smirked and began reciting a short, sharp poem. Glory is dust. Life is but mist. Only the path of power is eternal. The words hit them like a weight. The prince felt his throne suddenly seem tiny. Life is mist. Power is eternal, Kaemong whispered, his eyes widening with realization. His energy exploded. He is ascending! Kaemong is becoming a true martial lord! A lady gasped. 2 weeks ago, he was a mid-tier master. Now, this breakthrough? The duke laughed. It took me 6 months and 1,000 pills to do that. Between those rare stones and endless pills, you actually did it. You broke through the barrier, kid. Pure luck. Luck? He just stared at me, then dropped to his knees, trembling with a mix of awe and gratitude. He thanked me, but I just shrugged. It is your destiny. I will have 10 more pills made for you. Reach the 5th level fast. My crew does not carry dead weight, and right now, you are barely cutting it. He nodded, breathless. My words stung, but the team was already moving, ready to play their part in this. Orders were cut. New Yet to the academy, Jimeng to find the king, and Ja to summon Lady Yun. The old man and I headed for the palace. It was time to force the emperor to mobilize the troops. Meanwhile, in a dark room smelling of failure, Prince Yang's hands shook as he gripped his velvet throne. You had the numbers, 3 against 1, 50 elite archers against a handful, and you let them slaughter you? He crushed the armrest. Only 4 of you came back? Explain yourselves, you useless, miserable dogs. Kaofeng pointed a trembling finger. My elite guard, the pride of the nation, was wiped out in 1 night. I had the target pinned. Everything was ready. But you, what did you do with my 80 elite men? Li Yi screamed, his voice cracking with terror. It was Li Yunxiao, him and that traitor, Jimeng. Jimeng held off my brothers, and Yunxiao, that monster, he took my arm. It was a setup from the start. Yang's laugh was cold. You expect me to believe a low-level brat took down a master and crippled you? Jimeng is a nobody, and Yunxiao is a peasant. How does one man fight 2 masters and win? Give me a real reason not to kill you. Tell me how a weakling severed the limb of a master. Li Yi was shaking, reliving the nightmare. It is true, sire. Jimeng found some dark, illegal power. But Yunxiao is the devil. He hides his strength behind a mask of failure, playing us like complete fools. He has hidden artifacts and secret arts. At the manor, he played the part of the loser perfectly. He is no loser. He is a predator. And right now, he is the biggest threat to your crown, Prince. Cao Fong chimed in, his voice low. The assassination attempt was perfect, yet he predicted every single move. Not only did we lose the target, but Jimeng turned coat to follow that boy. It is insane. Yang dismissed them with a wave. Enough excuses. Tell me how we fix this before the sun rises. Li Yi tried to pivot. Don't worry, sire. The main plan is still in motion. Our pieces are moving. Once the Golden Lion army returns from the border and merges with our spies, we strike the capital. The entire kingdom will be yours by morning. One swift blow, and the old regime crumbles into the dust. Yang paused. And the king? If Yunxiao heals him and he joins the princess, we are facing a god. A martial king at her side is a nightmare. That is the thorn in my side that won't move. Li Yi smirked. My master is sending his own assassins. The king won't live to see another sunrise. Yang exhaled, the tension finally leaving his shoulders. Good. Don't fail me again. Go lick your wounds. As they crawled away, Yang turned to Cao Fong. Do you actually trust those snakes at the border? Cao Fong spat on the floor. Trust them? Never. I just want my men's lives paid for in blood. Yang nodded. Agreed. We rely on ourselves. Move the timeline up. We need the palace guards ready now. Cao Fong vanished into the shadows to give the order. Yang turned back. And what about the politician? Cao Fong's voice echoed back. Ja is set. He is furious about the Li family ignoring the law. Yang chuckled. Fury is useless in a weakling. A pencil pusher like Za is only good for propaganda. He cannot kill a man, but he can start a riot. He will be my mouthpiece for now. Cao Fong agreed. No one has drawn steel yet. Let him use morality to poison the public mind. If we destroy their reputation first, their swords won't mean a thing when the people turn on them. Jia represents the soul of the people. If he calls them traitors, the city will burn them alive. Yang's smile was predatory. Perfect. Turn the mob against them, isolate the family until they have nothing left. With that old fool on our side, the narrative is mine, and whoever controls the story wins. He walked out, his ego swelling. These are just minor hurdles on the road to my final coronation. As long as the final move lands, it won't matter who supported them. Only the victor writes history. My throne was secure until the mob reached my doorstep. A sea of white-clad vultures flooded the yard. I roared, "Who dares?" My assistant panted, "Sir, the academic elite have arrived." 3 deans and 100 snobs brought the cameras. "They read 10 zins." Dad whispered, "Hide from these fossils. Let the starving poets rant. They will leave eventually." I saw the protest banners. "Scared of a few nerds?" Dad hissed. "Killing generals is easy. This is a PR nightmare. These men are saints. They are the public's moral compass. Even the president bows to their brand of virtue. Fight them, and our legacy is burned to ash." I laughed. 1,000,000 soldiers couldn't break my spirit. These saints are just paid actors for my rivals. If they block my path, I will bury them. Dad is old school. He fears the pen. I do not. The 3 wise men stepped forward, eyes cold. "He is out!" they screamed. "The monster is here! Traitor, abuser, power-hungry snake, you have no soul. 10 sins, no mercy." The crowd began to chant, "No mercy, 10 sins." Their voices shook the foundations. Their aura glowed. I flicked a booger at them. It hit the leader's mouth. He gagged, losing his lunch. I watched their energy, pure, concentrated social malice. It was beautiful. I had underestimated the power of hate. I leapt into their aura. It was a feast. I breathed it in. "God, that is the good stuff. Turn your hate into my fuel. Keep it coming." They froze. "He is flying? Only legends do that." "He is eating our virtue," the dean screamed. "Stay back. It is dark magic. Our purity will burn him. He will choke on our truth," the leader spat. "Chant louder. Let the light crush this demon." They prayed. The righteousness surged, wrapping around me. My man trembled. "Is the kid going to die?" Dad stared. "He is using a forbidden trick to fly." The hate turned into raw power in my veins. My old limits finally started to crack and break. It was not a level up, but I felt invincible. Mastering 2 paths is slow, but I am different. At this level, I am the apex predator. The mob kept chanting, thinking they were winning. Purity is the ultimate weapon. They lied to themselves. The energy spiked. I smiled. "I love you guys. Keep talking. I am not done with you yet." I faked a scream. "Oh no, it hurts. Stop." I needed more of that righteous chi. Time to play the victim. Level 7. "Arg, you monsters, stop. I can't take any more." My fake agony drove the scholars to chant even harder. They thought I was finished. Their arrogance was my greatest weapon. Li Hian panicked, certain I was about to draw my last breath. Grandfather saw through it. He knew I was far from dying. The air hummed. I was leveling up. Suddenly, a scholar collapsed. I drained them dry. They sat there, trembling like leaves. I descended like a god. They realized I was stronger than ever. I opened my eyes as they fell. Mid-tier, level 7. Not bad. A bit more chanting and I would have hit high tier. Amateurs. 1 tiny drain and you fold? What are you even studying? The leader turned purple. He realized I'd used their energy. Grandfather laughed. "That's my boy. Thanks for the gift, Jia." They cursed us, but my eyes went cold. "We aren't even yet. You harassed my family. Now, it's time to pay the piper." They withered under my gaze, whimpering for mercy like dogs. "You bring a mob to my door and ask times me times what I want?" They screamed about 10 sins, desperate to keep their pride. They had to frame us or lose everything they stood for today. Is the emperor blind? You're basically calling him a fool. Calling the sovereign a bastard is treason. Do you want to die? They panicked. "How dare you? You're twisting our words, Li." "You deserve death, but I'll give you 1 path to survival." One fool claimed his scholar status made him untouchable. He babbled about being a man of letters. I didn't care. 1 strike silenced him forever. The leaders turned deathly pale. The rest scrambled, clutching my boots and begging for life. I leveled my blade at his eye. He was shaking, broken. 3 laps around the capital. Shout. "Gia is a scumbag." They were horrified. Insulting their master meant social suicide. They looked at my sword and chose survival over pride. "Li Hen, follow them. If anyone stops chanting, kill them." The walk of shame began. "Janyet Nia is a scumbag. Smile while you curse him. I want to see some enthusiasm." A parade of scholars laughing through tears. It was pathetic. The streets were stunned. My grandfather just watched in awe. Later, in the secret chamber, I checked on Dai Sin. "I won't let you die." I forced a pill down his throat. Grandfather asked when he'd wake. Right then, his eyes opened. He thanked me. Unsure of his fate, I told him to stand. I can feel my legs. He hadn't stood in 5 years. It was simple poison. Those masters only knew how to mask it. They used fire to soothe, but never pulled the poison out. My pill kills the toxin. Now, I'll finish the job for good. Pushing off the basin, I finally stood. We collapsed, sobbing. After all these years, brother. I can walk, I choked out. Your nephew is incredible, Thuan whispered, patting my shoulder. If I'd known sooner, you wouldn't have suffered, Thuan sighed. The general leads the army east soon, Van warned. Stay sharp. Leading a march? I thought those days were just ghosts. The kid is joking, I said. Van just challenged a bet. Is he serious? I asked. Thuan nodded. I need you. I'm going back? Ha! I'll wear the armor again, I vowed. Give the order, brother. I'm yours to command, I said. Thuan looked at Van with a predatory, knowing grin. A level 2 master. I believe it now, Thuan whispered. Masters have toys, Thuan pressed. Van tried to play it off. Van paled. He looked like a man facing a firing squad. Where's the vault? Centuries of family gold vanished into thin air. You didn't just rob them. You took the whole damn building. Were you so desperate you needed the empty shelves too? I'll take your money now, Thuan teased, before I bleed you dry. The old man is a shark, I muttered. Van felt defeated. We hit the war room. The king stared. You're alive? My sister was stunned. I bowed. It's been years, king. That Arctic poison should have buried you, the king whispered. It's a long story, Thuan began, explaining the dark truth. The king slammed the table. Why didn't you come to me? I was too weak then, Thuan admitted. I had no moves. I had to hide. Now, Van, explain the miracle cure. The fire pill, Van explained. It suppresses the frost's bite. The pill is basic. We still need the master's solar energy. Van snapped his fingers to pull the rod out completely. The assistant brought the meds. I need a favor first. 3 favors, the king agreed. Just don't make them impossible. 3 is plenty, Van agreed. My sister just stared, baffled. A level 2 pill? How? She asked. Van shrugged. Luck. She shook her head. You've been playing us this whole time. Thanks for helping, Van said. We'll pay you back well. We'll make it worth your while, he promised. She waved him off. They are the country's heart, she said. No payment needed. But one day, play that haunting song for me. Please. I will, Van promised. Thuan invited everyone to stay tonight. Tomorrow, we march, Thuan said. Van turned to the medic. Van began his meditation. My path is the only one. I'm stuck. Why no breakthrough despite the perfect technique? The poison and the scholar's energy. It wasn't enough. He breathed deep, focusing his power in the total silence. He stepped into the golden light of the divine tablet. I have seen plenty of spatial designs within mystical weapons, but they are all just basic pocket dimensions. Most are forged through simple arrays or mental imprints, unlike this soul-bound boundary god Stele. This artifact crafts a living world within my consciousness, a thriving sanctuary that feels almost sentient. Creating something like this in the heaven-martial continent is rare, as it keeps the soul from ever fading. My spirit manifests directly here, yet the laws governing this space seem entirely detached from the outside world. While my soul gathers power, my body absorbs external essence, creating a perfect, impenetrable synergy of energy. With 2 sets of laws at play, I can advance my physical and spiritual cultivation at the same time. In reality, I am doing handstand push-ups for strength, while my mind remains deep in a meditative trance. I have increased the Stelli's gravity 30 times over, forcing my real-world training to reach unprecedented levels. This intense weight makes one-handed sword drills grueling, especially while I remain inverted and focused. I am funneling energy from spirit stones, pushing the One Origin technique to its absolute limit right now. The bond between spirit and flesh is miraculous. One breath now draws the power of 8 spirit stones. In my past life, absorbing 3 stones at once was incredible, but this pace is truly godlike. Even high-ranking masters cannot match the sheer purity and intensity of my current internal energy. Once I reclaim my peak at the 9 heavens, no one in this world will be my match. I pushed too hard to absorb everything. My muscles ballooned before I suddenly spat out a spray of blood. I overdid it. My greed nearly killed me, and I can feel my body reaching its breaking point. I collapsed back into meditation, gasping for air. I cannot let my physical form fail me now. It is almost funny. I forced my consciousness back into place and roared for the weakness to vanish. I forced that massive energy surge through my veins, successfully breaking through to the 8-star warrior rank. I finally did it. I am still alive. I can finally step out of this dangerous state of seclusion. That was far too risky. I cannot gamble with my life like that again. I must be more careful. Chun Yang approached me, clearing his throat. He looked hesitant, as if he really did not want to interrupt. He gasped, realizing I hit the 8-star rank. I told him I almost reached master before he showed up. He circled me in disbelief. Just 2 days ago, I was only at the 7-star rank. He could not understand how this happened, noting that even grade 9 pills would not work this fast. I brushed him aside, telling him I would get back to training if there was no real emergency. He stopped me, explaining that the capital is in chaos after the incident with the 3 sages. Their leader, Jia Renyi, vomited 3 liters of blood in a fit of rage and is now deathly ill. The emperor has summoned every high official to the palace, waiting for our family to explain ourselves. I have been watching. It seems that mob of scholars is still barricading the royal court today. So these scholars are the ones slowing my progress? If they are in the way, just kill them. Chun Yang sighed, warning me that we cannot just execute someone the world views as a saint. He represents every intellectual in the land. Killing him would turn the entire world against our family. I told him his heart is too tied to social norms. I only follow the path of absolute strength. These emperors use these fools to control the weak, but to us, they are nothing but trash. When we finally stand above the clouds, the world will only look up in awe, never daring to curse. The old man stood there in a daze, listening intently as I continued to break down his fears. You have survived 100 wars, yet now you are afraid of a few dusty scholars with scrolls? Do not make me laugh. A warrior who fears words is a disgrace to the path of power. My words hit him like a lightning bolt, finally opening his eyes to the true nature of martial arts. He realized that being invincible and unapologetic is the only way to truly master his own destiny. I am going to sweep away these pests right now. Let us see who dares to stop me. We mounted our horses and rode toward the city. He noticed a dark, heavy aura radiating from me. It felt as if I had personally slaughtered thousands, carrying a karmic weight that terrified even him. Even I felt a shiver. I thought reaching the master rank was my peak. But facing my grandson, I felt the weight of a true titan pressing down. My pride was a joke. In the grand scheme of power, I am just starting. Once this political nightmare ends, I am retiring to find my own path. Stop right there, the sentries screamed. This is the palace. Get off your horses. We ignored them. Halt or be killed, they bellowed, leveling spears at our chests. Li Yunxiao drew his steel. Out of the way, he hissed. Move or die. Arrogance, they yelled. Dismount now. They were begging for a grave they did not want. One flash of silver. Bodies hit the dirt. He did not even blink at the carnage. Why them? I gasped. He did not look back. Today, I am here to kill. We breached the inner walls. I am Li Yunxiao, he roared. Son of General Li. Panic erupted. The captain, Jing Feibai, stepped out with a face twisted in pure rage. Execution is too good for you, he spat. I moved before they could even breathe. Feibai lunged. The palace is no place for trash like you, he barked, attacking. A massive energy blast shredded the air, vaporizing my grandson's horse in an instant. He vaulted high, landing perfectly. 8-star martial lord. The best they have? I did not wait. I launched off my mount, moving faster than human eyes. I tore through Feibai in one blur. He died before he could even scream. Silence fell. The guards froze as I landed, my hands stained with fresh blood. They looked at me, Duke Li, and saw a war god turned into a demon. Military emergency, I barked. Interfere and I will leave no one alive to tell it. They raised shields, trembling. My grandson smiled at me with a cold, knowing grin. Waiting for my turn, Grandpa? He stepped forward, his voice ringing through the hall. Li Yunxiao, son of General Li, reporting urgent military business to the emperor. Inside, the prince hissed. Father, they have lost it. This is treason. Absolute madness. Princess Tuyue's heart sank. This was not the subtle plan she had hoped for. The strategy for the seals was dead. This was a direct assault on the crown. The emperor coughed, a dry sound. Bring them in. Bring the Li family to me. The Grand Tutor blocked us, scholars flanking him like a wall of useless parchment. You have insulted the sages, he shrieked. 100 dead. You are total monsters. Today you pay, he cried. The heavens are watching. The guards echoed his screams. Yun Xiao shook his head. These intellectuals were stupider than the children they taught. Their righteousness was a joke. I watched my grandson's grip tighten on his hilt. 4 heads rolled before the tutor finished. The chant died in a spray of red. The crowd backed away, shrieking about the sacrilege at the Golden Throne's very door. Yun Xiao sheathed his blade, eyes like ice. State business is not for library rats. You are just pawns playing at morality. It is pathetic. Go back to your books. Do not die for a man who would not bleed for you, he warned. If you want to live, go back to school. This is a graveyard, kids. If your master was righteous, he would be out here instead of hiding behind you. We walked through them. The scholars parted like the sea, shivering in our wake. The advisor, pale and trembling, pointed a shaking finger, wailing for the Emperor's help. "Slay them," he begged. "Save us from these demons. They have no respect for life." The Emperor's voice was cold. "You dare spill blood here? You ignore every law?" "I do not ignore the law," Yun Xiao countered. "I am here to finally enforce it." The crowd screamed for my head, claiming I'd ignored every law in the book. I just looked at the prince and asked if he even understood what the law was. "I'm the heir to this kingdom," he barked. "Of course I know the law. You're just a common thug about to pay for his crimes." I let out a sharp, cold laugh. "Since you're so enlightened, is the Minister of Justice present?" Van Lam, the official, stepped forward warily. "I'm here," the old man grunted. "What do you want from me, boy?" I gave him a mock bow. My eyes locked on his. "I need a legal opinion, Minister," I said. "What is the specific penalty for obstructing a high-level military emergency report to the throne?" Van Lam didn't hesitate. "Interfering with urgent military intelligence is a capital offense. It carries the sentence of extermination for 9 generations. The court went silent as a tomb. They finally realized why I'd been screaming about emergency news since I crossed the gate. Those guards were dead men. The prince's face twisted. He hadn't expected me to use his own rulebook to justify the blood on my hands. He was scrambling for a comeback. "Fine. Maybe the guards were fair game," he hissed, pointing at me. "But those scholars outside? You butchered men of peace without a second thought. Those men were the moral pillars of our society. They spent their lives in prayer and poetry, grooming the future of this land, and you slaughtered them. You did it without a word. Is that your law?" He started weeping. A pathetic, dramatic performance designed to paint me as a soulless monster. I ignored his tears and turned back to the minister. "Tell me, what's the punishment for someone who slanders a high-ranking official of the crown?" "If the slander is proven, it's a beheading," Van Lam replied. The prince stopped crying instantly. He hadn't seen the trap closing in on him. Elder Jia stood up, his fingers shaking with rage. "For a commoner, maybe. But those scholars were state-appointed officials speaking the truth. That's not slander." "The truth?" I smirked. "Be careful, old man. I might have to report you for lying, too." The king summoned me, yet those men blocked my path. They physically prevented me from executing a royal decree. "Tell me, elder, what's the legal price for standing in the way of the king's will?" The elder stammered, his face turning gray. Van Lam spoke up again, his voice like a gavel. "Obstructing a royal command is extermination of 9 generations." You could hear a pin drop. The court realized I wasn't just a killer, I was a strategist. Those peaceful scholars were technically traitors by law. "Everything's coming together," I whispered. "And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't your own grandson leading that mob? That puts your whole family on the block. You're the great moral teacher, right? Surely you believe the law is a mountain that cannot be moved, even for your own flesh and blood." The old man's face turned a violent shade of red. You little. "Your Majesty, please. You must protect your loyal servant from this madness." The king just stared at me, looking like he had a massive migraine. He was wondering if I was really the same nephew he'd always known. Our family had always been blunt instruments, soldiers who settled things with steel, not words. We usually lost these political games, but not today. I hadn't just fought my way into the palace. I'd walked them right into a legal slaughterhouse. I had the saint trapped by his own morality. If the king punished the elder, he'd be killing his own mentor's legacy. If he didn't, he'd be admitting his own laws were completely worthless. The emperor finally sighed. "The elder is a descendant of a saint and my first teacher. His grandson was a fool, but the elder is innocent. I'm granting a pardon. As for the grandson, drag him out and take his head. Let that be the end of this, and let it serve as your apology, Van Tew." The elder collapsed to his knees, sobbing. "Thank you, your majesty. Thank you for your infinite mercy." He didn't even mention his dying grandson. I watched the other officials nod in approval. They only cared about their own survival. The boy's life was just a small price to pay for their status. The king looked relieved, thinking he'd successfully balanced the scales. He thought he'd made everyone happy. He couldn't have been more wrong. "I object, Majesty," I said, my voice cutting through the room. "The law isn't a suggestion. If this man represents the nation's soul, he should be held higher. Is a scholar somehow more sacred than the crown? Even a prince is subject to the law. Why should this old man be any different?" The elder's face went white as a sheet. "Van Tew, you arrogant brat. The king has made his ruling. Who are you to question the throne?" He was barking like a cornered animal now. He knew he'd lost the moral high ground, and he was absolutely terrified of what was coming next. "You think I don't respect the king's word?" I asked. The entire room gasped. I was skating on the edge of high treason, and everyone knew it. My grandfather looked like he was about to faint. He was probably already writing his resignation letter in his head. I was taking it way too far. The king's eyes flared with a dangerous heat. You dare speak such words? I stood perfectly straight, placing my hand over my heart with fake solemnity. Majesty, you belong here, I said, tapping my chest. A true servant doesn't just shout your name in the streets like this old hypocrite does. True loyalty is keeping your commands in one's soul. Elder Jia uses your name as a shield to protect his family, but he doesn't actually respect your power. He allowed his family to block your decree because he thinks his status is more important than your will. He thinks he's the one in charge. Maybe he thinks you aren't fit to sit on that throne. Maybe he thinks the seat would look better with him in it instead. The elder could only make a pathetic choking sound. I had successfully turned his piety into the ultimate evidence of betrayal. He was finished. Maybe that's why he treats the royal decree like garbage. Does he really think he's more powerful than the king himself? Am I more noble than the king? Or does old Jia think the king is incompetent and someone else should take his seat? Should you sit there instead? The fake saint stammers, choking on his rage, while everyone watches him defy the imperial decree. Before he could even defend himself, I slapped a traitor's label on him. The old man went ballistic, pointing a shaking finger but only managing a pathetic, you.